Dude, I am so pissed off. I just recorded a great video, man. It was so good. It was like everything flowed perfect together. And I got real deep into a lot of stuff that I wanted to, and all of a sudden, I put it into CapCut, and it did not capture the microphone audio. It's a 50-minute long video. Oh boy. So, I'm gonna try to do it again. Because I don't care what's fighting me. I'm going to do what the Lord calls me to do. And I'm going to try to do it with joy. And I'm going to try to remember everything that I talked about, because my God, dude, that was so stupid. Oh, if there's one thing about me, I have a hard time tolerating stupidity. Whether it's humans or technology or even my own. It's like, no wonder God had so much trouble dealing with the Israelites back when they were in the desert. And Moses had to beg him not to destroy him, because oh my God, I cannot believe that happened, dude. Oh my God. I didn't even change anything. Nothing I did didn't change anything. It just changed itself. The demons have control of our devices. I'm 100% convinced of that. They just get in here and screw stuff, and you won't know until the very end. And now, I'll do this whole video again, and maybe I tested it, but it doesn't mean anything, because it may not work again. And if that happens, then I'm done. Seriously, I everybody has their limit, and I'm a mere man. I can't can't dedicate freaking half the day to this. I mean, it means so much to me, you know? Oh, dear Jesus. Why did you let that happen? See, it's stuff like that, that it's like, why do you let that happen, Lord? When I had so much joy, and I thought it was gonna be one of the greatest videos I ever did. But nope. See, I don't like to get mad at God, and I try my best not to, but I know ultimately it's the demons and the devil that combat me and make my life hell and make me wish I'd never been born. But who's the ultimate authority? Right? That's what I can't get over. Who's the one that nothing will happen unless he allows it to happen? That's why I get upset at God. Because he's the one ultimately in control of everything. And I'll be real. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and fake. That's why I can't work in customer service. I can't pretend like I'm in a good mood and, greet people and help them with their problems when I'm pissed off inside. When I've got a storm raging, you know. I can't put on a fake face. Can't do it. Won't do it. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna try to get over this. I do remember what I was talking about at the beginning of the video was, you know how war heroes are acknowledged, and they'll be given a Purple Heart or like a high honor by the president for their service. And Purple Heart is like one of the highest honors you can get, if I'm not mistaken, and it's when somebody's injured in battle, fighting for the nation or their cause. And I was walking through a Home Depot, and I went to the restroom and came out and saw that there was this big mural on the wall that had like American flags and eagles and everything. It said, "Thank you for your service." And it kind of hit me differently, because it almost felt like God was thanking me for my service in the fight. And he's kind of let me know that that's going to be kind of how it is in heaven with the crowns and the rewards. They're going to be accolades of honor in this fight that we're in. And many of us have been wounded over and over and over again. Okay, it did it again. My mic stopped recording again. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on it. And, oh my God. All right, well, luckily I didn't go. I only went about 5 minutes before I realized it had cut out, but oh, dude, I want to say some things right now. I want to say some words right now. I'm about to honestly take a break and go probably Office Space smash something in the yard, or I don't know. Hopefully it's not going to end up being the computer. Okay. I don't even remember where it left off. I'm angry. I'm really pissed off. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna put the shorts in today. Unfortunately, it's just is what it is. I'm still gonna go through the devotionals and maybe some news. I don't even know. I don't know if I can take the news right now. Maybe I'm just gonna talk about this, because this is such bullshit, dude. Overwhelmingly stupid bullshit. I'm sorry, but no good deed goes unpunished, right? And I'm not saying I'm even doing a good deed by putting these videos out. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing what I feel like I should. I don't know. You know? Like I said, what you see is what you get with me. I'm not gonna hide anything. I believe in authenticity and authentic motives. Um, that first video is perfect, man. But I think one of the things that got cut off of what I just tried to record was I maybe I was supposed to bring up this anger, and I know the devil is trying to, since he can't scare me anymore like he used to, he's trying to piss me off, and he's trying to piss me off at God. But the thing is, it's working, and I hate that. I hate that it's working. I hate that. Why can't I get mad at the devil? I'll tell you why. Because who is the supreme being in ultimate control of everything? Who's the one that allows the devil to do what he does? That's why. I go to the very top, man. I don't understand how Job did it. You're definitely seeing a different side of me today. Damn, I don't even remember what all I was talking about. I guess I'm just gonna go to the devotionals. Hopefully it'll let me. Jesus, man, this is nearly broken me. Like, I can't even, it's like sapped my joy. Like, I don't even feel like I can read this and actually like feel it right now. See, that's what gets me. It's like, whenever most people, it seems like they'll call upon God when they need him, and then whenever they're having a good time and things are going okay, they'll kind of get caught up in the world or whatever. And I used to be that way, I guess. But whenever hard times came, then they come running to God. I'm the opposite. I'm the guy that is looking for God every single day, trying my best, which I shouldn't be. I should just be still and know that he is the Lord, and that he's gonna justify everything that's wrong someday. And I know my temporary anger is not worth the eternal glory. I know that. But it's hard to understand that when I don't see it. And I don't understand why these things happen. Maybe God wanted you to see a different side of me today. I don't know. I know there's a reason for everything that happens. But dude, I've been fighting with this thing all day yesterday, and I thought I had it figured out. I thought it was gonna go smoothly today. And the first video I did, man, is so good. I was riding so high. I said everything I wanted to. I felt like the Lord was speaking through me, every word, and none of it was captured. It all came to nothing. I hate wasting my effort. I hate when my work is in vain. I hate it. Especially when it's the Lord's words that come back empty, when the Bible promises they don't. What the hell's up with that? See, now I'm in a funk that I don't know if I'm going to be able to get out of. It usually takes the Lord pulling me up out of it. And, oh my God. It's like every time something like this happens, I feel like I'm the most pissed off I've ever been. And it happens so often now. It's like, I feel like I'm losing myself. Like I'm losing control. And I know, it's supposed to be in God's control anyway. I'm not supposed to have any control. I understand that. But I'm losing it, guys. I'm freaking losing it. Like, oh, that pissed me off so much. Oh my God. All right. Help me, Lord. Can't do this much longer, man. One of the things that I remember talking about is being afraid as a child. The devil was tormenting me when I was 3 or 4 years old, maybe younger. I don't remember. But it freaked me out, the thought of living forever. Like, even in heaven. The thought freaked me out that we were going to live forever and never cease to exist and never die, you know. And I think the reason it freaked me out, my mother or my grandmother once said, I think the reason you feel that way is because you don't know what it's like to be happy. And that's kind of like a sad revelation, to realize that I never knew what it was to be happy, even in my childhood, you know? And I take that back a little bit, because, I mean, I'm happy that I know the Lord, and He's my reason for living and everything, and I'm deep down, I am happy, and I'm fulfilled. Nothing in this world is gonna fulfill me. I know that. I don't want anything else in this world but to just keep doing the Lord's will until it's time to go home. But Lord, come quickly, man, because this is getting hard. This is getting so much worse than I ever thought it would get. I mean, I hate being subjected to demons, man, and evil, you know. He promises to deliver us from every evil and preserve us unto His kingdom. Well, when? How much are you gonna let us get torn apart by these things? Until there's nothing left? Like, until our souls are nothing but a dead shell? Like, what? I'm letting the devil have a footstool right now, and I don't need to. It's my brother calling. I'll call him back. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I thought today was gonna be good. I thought when I finished that video, like, it just took the wind out of my sails, like never before. I don't know if I've ever felt my heart sink that much. But yeah, I used to be afraid of living forever, you know. I used to have, like, panic attacks when I was a child, and I had to get in a warm bath to calm down, just to be able to, you know, just calm down. It gave me such anxiety, such acute anxiety, like. But ever since the Lord showed me Himself, at least the light, you know, the light, and that's going to be covered in one of my dreams. That I had a vision or a dream of seeing this, like, bright white light, and it was peace and love and joy and everything, and I just wanted to be where the light was. And I don't know if it was then or way before then, like in my childhood, that I stopped being afraid of heaven, of living forever, and now I'm afraid of hell, if anything. So, yeah, I'm gonna try to get through these devotionals, maybe try the news again, maybe play the shorts. Man, it just did not go the way I thought. Also, I am working on those dreams. Got about 12 of them written down that I remember. A lot of them fall into, like, the same dream category, like being surrounded by tornadoes or storms or something, and then being taken up out of danger, or a lot of them have, like, water parks, or these big, like, skydiving platforms into water and stuff like that. A lot of my heaven dreams are water based for some reason. I think that's, you know, it talks about water in heaven, and a river flowing from the throne and all that. But anyway, maybe that'll come later today if I can get this video done. I doubt it. But hopefully I'll be able to get it up by this weekend sometime. So just bear with me, guys. All right, today's 365 promise. I will meet your every need through my eternal riches in Jesus Christ. Philippians 4:19. My God will supply every need of yours according to his riches and glory in Christ Jesus. Our God and Father has promised to meet our every need according to the vast riches in the glorious storehouse of heaven that is in Christ Jesus. In an orphan world system that makes people feel all alone and responsible to claw and scratch for everything they get, this is really good news. Our God knows that what we need before we need it, and he delights to provide for us what we need when we need it, whether a felt need or a spiritual one. Our heavenly dad is a father who provides for his kids. In this particular passage, Paul is writing to the Philippians and thanking them for the gift that they sent to help further the work of the kingdom. Paul is encouraging them that as they have been obedient to share what they have, God will continue to pour in heaven's resources when they need it. While we may not have an ample bank account stored up on earth, that's the truth, we can rest in the fact that we have access to the true eternal riches that are stored up in heaven for us through the glorious riches in our elder brother Jesus Christ. Guys, I'm going to pause the recording. I really feel like I'm going to cry right now. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. I didn't cry. I refuse to let my show become a trombone session, so, back to the Devotionals. God loves you. It's Sunday? I didn't know it was Sunday. I thought it was Saturday. Oh, man. My love exalts you. 1 Peter 5:6. If you bow low in God's awesome presence, he will eventually exalt you as you leave the timing in his hands. See, that's the thing. My anger toward God is pride. I know it is. I already know. It's a humbling. And if I hadn't already mentioned this too, I think it's something where the Lord wants to strengthen my faith in him, that, you know, I can be real with him, and I can tread in places where most people, well, I mean, you know, most new Christians would be afraid to, you know, and just be real with him like a friend. And friends fight sometimes, you know, and or like a father and a child when the teenage kid says, "I hate you, Dad," and runs to his room or whatever. You know, I think because he's always with me, even after those times, during those times. And I'm always like kind of surprised, like, there's nothing I can do to drive you away, is there? You know, that kind of, I think he wants me to grow in that kind of faith that there really is nothing we can do. That he's above all of that, and he knows everything we're gonna do before we do it, before we think it. He knew it before the foundation of the world. He knew it before creating us, you know. But I still wish I didn't get angry at him. I wish I got angry at the one that's, you know, intentionally trying to hurt me. But it's just hard when you know who's ultimately in control and who you trust. You know, you trust to keep you from harm, yet things happen that you don't think he would allow to happen. But anyway, I do believe everything in the end is going to be made right. So, every little thing. My dear child, I desire to lift you up in due season if you can trust the timing in my loving hands. I understand why it can be so difficult to wait sometimes, but it is in the waiting that you will see your strength renewed. And when your strength is renewed, you can mount up with an eagle's wings. You will be able to run and not grow weary, walk and not faint. When you wait for me, you acknowledge that you need my help, and I will exalt you in this place of beautiful childlike humility. Just as a little child waits to be picked up, stretch out your arms toward me, little one. And I promise to lift you up to heights you never dreamed possible. After all, I am your true father, and I love you with all my heart. That reminds me of something I said during the first video. this is gonna be, and this is one of the dreams that I've got 12 of them. I'm writing them out to make sure I get all the details right, the important, crucial details and everything. But in one of the dreams, I was up on top of this really tall mountain, like the tallest mountain. Like, it wasn't specifically Mount Everest or anything, but I couldn't see anything around that was taller. And I was a little nervous because of how high up we were. And it was me and this older guy. And I didn't understand at the time in the dream that the older guy was God, but he was guiding me and leading me in these dreams, and he was showing me these ruins that were all around, like surrounded all of us lower on the mountain. And it kind of was like those ruins were my plans, you know? And it was like, I'm gonna take you higher. I'm gonna destroy your plans and take you to a higher place. So all right, let's see if we can bear the news. You know what? I'm just gonna kind of talk about what I heard today with I listen to Chris's show every morning, the show that he does the day prior. Okay, he said something like Trump considers revoking Rosie O'Donnell's U.S. citizenship. Like, it says he's seriously considering that. Like, that's some dangerous ground, man. As a country, like as a national power, like that's a really slippery slope, you know. Okay, yeah. Musk's latest Grok chatbot searches for billionaire mogul's views before answering questions. So it's like trying to agree with him, you know, and his political views and everything. And it's crazy how AI is growing. It's really concerning, and they are so much further along than I think they've admitted. I think the AI is already, like, the big AI that they've been talking about is already on. I think it's already connected to the internet, or maybe all these smaller AIs are going to come together and merge together. I don't know. Like, this was something else. Iranian advisor posts video depicting nuclear strike on Israel. Like, that's a pretty big deal. Okay, there seems like, oh yeah, there's a bunch of floods that are going on all over the world still. 45 million acres of American land owned by foreign entities. See, it's already too late, man. They're underneath us, they're above us, they're around us. Like, they've been preparing for this for a long, long time. All right. I had another thought that I forgot. So this is a prophecy update. In tonight's podcast, we're joined by Mondo Gonzalez. Be real careful about this guy, all right? Ricky, I know some of you guys might like him, but in my interactions with him, he has not bared very good fruit to me, and he seems very workspace, and he just doesn't have a gentle spirit, you know. Mass shooting erupts at Tennessee class reunion. Sending 4 to hospital. Shooter remains on the loose. Trump defends Pam Bondi and slams critics. Nobody cares about Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, that's weird. It's weird to to know what they want. Do they want people to be like asking or focused on Epstein or not? Because I don't really know what's going on. I just know it keeps coming up, and for him to say what he did about it being like disrespectful as the floods are going on, no, it's not. Pray for those people, by the way, in Texas, that are affected by those, and everybody else in the world that's being affected by flooding right now, which is happening a lot. But it's not. You can't just, it's almost like another way of saying that is, how dare you not buy a distraction, Nearly 3,000 UFO sightings reported in first half of 2025. That's a lot. I wonder how that compares to earlier years. Alaska volcanoes awakens after being dormant for over a century. All these volcanoes. Spain and Ireland join over 20 states in measures against Israel. Okay, this one reminds me of what I was going to say. Tyler at Generation 2434 posted a short saying that, they postponed that two-state solution meeting that they were going to have. I don't know if it was Saudi Arabia and the U.S. or the other Arab nations, or if Israel's even involved, or what. I don't know what's going on with that. But he said that they postponed it to the first 2 dates of the Feast of New Wine, which is, I think, the 28th and 29th, if I'm not mistaken. So Tyler was saying like, hey, red alert, this is a big deal, big watch time. Okay, and that's, we're catching up to the news there. Okay, so I guess I'll go back and try to rewatch the shorts that I already watched. And let's see where we were. So I'm sure they're gonna jog my memory.
Do animals go to heaven and hell? I'm just so curious. Like I have a good boy. I have a very good boy.
And about
and
animals
when he passes away,
going to heaven.
You gotta go to dog heaven. What is the requirements to go to the eternal afterlife? Do I have to be a human?
The lion will lie down with the sheep. That's the reference we get.
Okay.
Now you can take that metaphorically, but no, I think.
What about the XL
literal
bully?
There's the
What's
wolf
that?
will lie down with a lamb, but same.
If a sheep gets in,
same
everyone
meaning.
gets in.
Okay.
Sheep are the dumbest animals supposedly in the world, right? Their brains the size of ping pong balls. Like you have to have shepherd for a sheep or it dies.
I didn't know
How
that.
can Jesus on the cross, one of his last dying gasps, Father, forgive them, they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, evidently, animals are in heaven. What I said during the first show is, and I'm going to try to stop saying that, but I'm just still bitter. But one of my friends that lives in Texas says one of the big reasons he believes in the Bible is because it says the word was spoken and everything came from the word, like a reverberation. And he said he knows that everything is frequency. And he believes that word that was spoken was the initial frequency, or the initial blast of what created every frequency that we see and touch and feel and know. So he also said that energy can't be destroyed. It can only be converted or re-guided, in other words, like transferred. So, just like there's energy in a soul of a human, just like there's energy in a spirit of a beast, of a cat or a dog or any animal that has life has that energy. So that energy doesn't just disappear. It doesn't get destroyed. Well, of course, God can do anything. but I believe, I know heaven is going to be so much bigger than it needs to be for every living thing to have been resurrected. I mean, we can talk about the size of New Jerusalem and just know that that's a single city. What is it, 1,400 miles cubed? Like, it's insane.
They don't know what they're doing. They certainly knew where to put the... How can Jesus on the cross, one of his last dying gasps, Father, forgive them, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. They certainly knew where to put the nails. They crafted a crown of thorns to dig into your skull. They don't know what they're doing, Jesus. They look like they know exactly what they're doing, and they hate you. They don't know what they're doing. That's love talking. That's grace talking. That's how God sees us. They don't know what they're doing. They really don't know what they're doing. They're eating each other alive. They're destroying each other. They're destroying their lives. They choose sin every time, but they don't know what they're doing. Father, forgive them. Let me take the penalty in my body. Forgive them. I am obsessed with this, because if you can tell me, anybody on the World Wide Web, tell me where there's a better story and where there's acceptance and love and forgiveness like this. So for me, I realize in my lowest days, my only shot, Bryce, is that I have to embrace not love as I see it and define it, but love as defined by Jesus.
We're just taking...
That's excellent. That's one of the best ones I've ever seen. And what I was saying at the end of the first video was nobody could conceive a better reality, a more beautiful reality than we live in, because Jesus, being the way that he is and the person that he is, and the grace that abounds from him, and the forgiveness and the mercy, him being our God that we get to spend eternity with forever in a place that he built specifically for us, and he promised to come pick us back up to be with him forever. Like, there is no reality can possibly be conceived that outmatches that in goodness. Like, we live in the greatest reality that could have ever been imagined, and we're just not there yet. We're just not at the promise fulfilled yet, but we're almost there. And like Jesus said on the cross, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. They don't know what they're messing with. And to the unbelievers out there, I'll say that too. You don't know what you're messing with, because Jesus is real. He's alive. He's everything you do and say is being recorded. Nobody gets away with anything. But if you don't have your sins paid for by his free and unearned gift of his shed blood to cover your sins, you are going to miss out on the greatest existence that could have ever been imagined by anyone, by anything. You're going to miss out on the greatest conceivable reality that could have ever been, forever. And you're going to be in the opposite of that. The worst reality that could ever be conceived. So, accept him. Open the door when he knocks.
we're just taking dirt and worshiping it as if it's our presence of God. And I can't wrap my head around that. I can't wrap my head that, like, if the piece of bread falls to the ground, legitimately hell breaks loose in that church, and they bow and pick it up with their mouth, and they treat it like it is actually my God that's in that bread. I can't get behind that. When they take the Eucharist and they truly believe that it is actually his body and his blood, to me, it's a big no-no.
But we do the same thing, though. Like, not just Catholics and Orthodox. Like, I believe there's real presence in Protestants. Believe real presence. Yeah, I believe Jesus is really there with communion. I don't believe the molecules change.
You don't believe that bread is his body?
I believe that Jesus' real presence is really with me. I don't believe that the molecules have changed to where the bread literally becomes flesh. I don't believe that.
Isn't that blasphemy? Isn't that like idolatry at a whole different level when you're worshiping something? Now, I'm not trying to be disrespectful again. I'm going to clarify this. I'm just learning. If I'm wrong, instead of getting angry, you pray for me.
Are you a Christian?
So, yeah, I mean, I am so far away from that Eucharist thing. It's, it's just, but the thing that got me with this one is Jesus is always with us. He walks side by side with us, and he's even carrying us, whether we want to believe it or admit it or realize it or not. But that's why it kind of confuses me when it says, when two or more are gathered together, there I am in the midst of them. Because I'm mostly alone, but I'm not alone. Because I have Jesus with me all the time, everywhere I go, before and behind. But I understand when it means there's power in fellowship and communion, because when I get on with another person like Steve or Jimmy or Repo Man or Derek, we go back and forth, and then it seems like there's a multiplication of that presence, and it says he worships, or he inhabits the praise of his people, so. But yeah, I mean, the spiritual realm doesn't work like it does down here. He's omnipresent. So, but yeah, I think it's just probably talking about the levels of feeling his presence and being in tune, because that's what it is. It's being in tune with his spirit. This was a good one.
I am, yes.
How come you're a Christian?
I'm a Christian because I can't base my value system on something that is societal norms, and societal norms changes. And so, for example, if I have a hand difference, and if I was born in the 50s, I would have been automatically aborted, not allowed a full term. And so back even in the 90s when I was born, even that was a concern. And so I can't base my value of life and my value system or another person's value of life based off something that's a societal norm that could change in a decade or even change within 5 years. And so for me, Christianity offers that value system that's constant and consistent with the value of life, the value of diversity, and the value of free will and choice. And so for me personally, that's why I've chosen to be a Christian, in addition to all of the other great things that God offers and having a relationship with him.
What do we do for these?
That was brilliant. That was good. That was a really good answer. Maybe one of the best I've heard. As far as a logical reason why to be a Christian. We'll watch this last one, and then I'll set it down.
What do we do for these people to give them hope that they're going to go into the kingdom of God?
Scripture is really clear that we're saved by grace through faith, and it's not by our works. And it says that if you confess with your mouth and believe in your heart that Jesus is Lord, your soul will be saved. Anybody else who feels so much guilt that they think they might not be getting into heaven, you simply have a wrong narrative. You've been lied to, and there's like a theological misunderstanding that's happening. And the only thing that really brings my heart comfort is knowing that Jesus did not die on the cross in vain in making us jump through hoops to get to him. That is not the grace that he's given us. We do not have to.
Hallelujah.
Yes, he's called us to a lot. The standard is high. Lay down your life, pick up your cross, and follow me. The misunderstanding is that we do anything that earns us our ability to get into heaven. We don't. Confess with your mouth. You believe in your heart that Jesus is Lord. You will find yourself with the Father in heaven.
The Quran is not the
Yeah,
word.
that's beautiful. That is so good. The only thing that I would interject into that is it says, "Come to me, all you who are burdened and heavy laden, for I'll give you rest." And it says, "For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." You know, like I said, when you're doing the will of God and you're following Him, it's effortless. I mean, it's not easy, but the will of God is effortless because He conforms your heart and transforms you to Himself, to conform to Himself. So you and Him are one. You know, we've been given that ability to be welcomed in the presence of God and for Him to even dwell within us and to work through us. So it's not just following the precepts and trying to make up some imaginary gap that Jesus left in our salvation, or even working for rewards in heaven. I don't believe in that either. I think we should just do things out of love for one another and love for God. And He said, "Seek the kingdom first, and all these things will be added to you." What did He mean by all these things? Everything. Everything you'd ever wanted and needed. Everything. Because it all comes from Him. And there's no one like Him, man. There's no one like Him. And I cannot wait to be around His personality in a tangible sense. I can't wait to see my brothers and sisters, meet all of you guys, breathe that sigh of relief that it's finally over. We don't have to be crushed and suffer anymore. But until then, just keep holding on, guys. And I'm sorry for freaking out earlier. It just really got to me. You know, the devil knows where to fire those darts. So he's gonna pay for that one. Yeah. Every time he tries to tell me I'm going to hell, I remind him, no, that's your fate. And you're going to the deepest, darkest, worst part of it. The hottest part of the lake of fire. But, you know, I don't know why I just thought of this, but, you know, they have the different colors of fire and how they're supposed to be like different. Well, I know some of them are based on chemical compounds and stuff like that, but others are based off of heat. Like if you use butane, then the orange is the lower heat, but then you get the blue, and that's a higher heat. But then if you go above that, you get white. And the white is the hottest flame that we know of in this physical reality. That's why the stars, you see all the stars, they're white. They're that pure white. You know, just like the power of Ultra Instinct Goku, and it talks about the transfiguration of Christ being that snow white. He's got the white hair and the but just keep an eye out. I've got about 12 of them so far. I think I mentioned that 5 times. I don't know what I've mentioned in the other videos that, you know, the audio failed to record halfway through. But anyway, love you guys, and if I don't see you next time, I will see you in the air. Peace.